Ahoy there, Elder Scrolls Legends fans. I'm Dead Broke Nerd, and I have brought to you today a deck that I've been putting a lot of work into. It is one of my favorite archetypes, even though it's not a very prominent one. This is a High Hrothgar Sorcerer deck. I've been playing this for over a year, ever since High Hrothgar first came out, and I started experimenting with that and the Ring of Imaginary Might. It's always been pretty much a meme deck, and with this variant, with the inclusion of cards from Isle of Madness, it has been upgraded from a meme deck to a niche deck. This is effectively an anti-aggro mid-rangey deck. In many ways, it is very defensive, but it is the ability to turn around and swing for massive amounts of damage in the mid-game. I'll be honest, this deck isn't going to take you up the ladder super fast. It does have, for me at least, over a 50% win rate. It's somewhere around 60% win rate across maybe 35, 40 games. But this is about as close as I have to the deck being complete. Now, I'm going to point out a few things that I think need some improvement, and I'm not exactly sure where to take it. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comments or on Twitter about what you think this deck could use as an inclusion. So let me get into it. So this is very controlling from the early turn. So we've got the Firebolts, we've got the Pointy Walls of Spikes, we've got the Shrieking Harpies, Sorcerer's Negations, we've got the Ward Crafters, and of course Icy Shambles as well, and Lightning Bolts. So all of that is intended to control the early game, stall out, slow down the press of aggressive warrior decks. This deck has a pretty strong win rate against Aggro Warrior, Siege Catapult Warrior, although it doesn't really have a great way to deal with Sower. So when Sower comes down, you're probably going to take that 5 damage from killing it. It also is actually quite nice against token decks and handles Aggro Crusader, which is pretty prominent on the ladder right now. Handles it like a charm. So there's a lot of good tools in here. The big combos, of course, is going to be Ring of Imaginary Might and High Hrothgar with our big defensive units. So Quora Clan Bloodkin at a 1/5. When you put a ring on the Quora Clan Bloodkin, it is a 7/7 with Drain. This is big. This creature is really hard to answer for an opponent. So you play this down without anything, you can usually wait a turn without it getting interacted with, especially if you put it in the shadow lane. Executes, of course, do clear it, but executes aren't super popular right now. Although, quite frankly, they probably will come back a little bit more with Sorcerer having all the Ward Crafters and Windkeep Spell Swords and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Against yellow, this creature might die. Maybe you consider putting the ring down on it first. But of course, then that opens it up to Fell the Mighty, so take that as you will. But that's not the only thing, right? Because then we have the Bollywog Tidecrawlers. This is one of my favorite new cards from Isles of Madness. It's a 2/6 guard for 4, so only 1 attack stat behind a Hive Defender, which, as we all know, is a dominant card. But then you get the smoked Bollywog leg on top of it. This is a game changer for High Hrothgar decks, because if you don't actually have High Hrothgar down, when you put Portcullis onto the field, whether through Prophecy or whether through just dropping it down for 5 Magicka, it's going to sit there. And then if it gets traded into 3 or 4 points without it doing any damage back, all of a sudden it's down to a 5 attack, 5 defense, 4 defense creature. And if you put the Ring of Imaginary Might on it, it only becomes a 6/6. And obviously, we'd rather have it have better value. So what can we do? We can heal it first. It's so fun to drop the Smoked Bollywog leg on a 2 defense Portcullis that your opponent traded into, and then follow it up with a big Ring of Imaginary Might. So, okay, obviously, we looked at this. Portcullis, why is it in here? Because it's a big, fat guard with 9 defense. If you can put a ring on this, it's an 11/11. Pretty solid stats, but the bigger thing is its Prophecy, and by having 15 Prophecies in this deck, we are very likely to see at least 1 throughout the course of the game, and they are all defensive Prophecies. Every single Prophecy that's in this deck is either a guard, removal, or something like a Harpy that can shackle. So keep that in mind, guys. Between the Pointy Walls and everything, we have plenty of ways to disrupt our opponent's aggression through Prophecies. Obviously, we're running on Kano at the top end now. I used to run some other things at the top end. I used to run Cicero. I used to run High King Emmerich, but those would often clog my hand. As you can see here on the curve, we have a lot of 2-drops, but then we have a lot of 4-drops and 5-drops and 6-drops. Getting through the mid game can be a problem sometimes if you have too much up here. So what did I do? I put in 2 Barrelsar's Tinkering. Now, I'm not sure if this is the best option, but I wanted to test it. This has been my most recent test. It's had some ups, it's had some downs. It can remove some troublesome minions by making them a random 1 cost bigger, but it also can take your little Crucible Blacksmith up to a 3 cost, so that actually has a relevant body after it's gotten the effect off. And then, of course, Crucible Blacksmith searches for what? The Ring of Magic Might, and we also have a Tome of Alteration here as a way to get a little bit of stat bumps and a little bit of card cycle as well. So we just have the 1 for the tutor effect. Besides that, guys, this run's pretty straightforward. I'm really excited to see you guys take a look at it. If you give it a try, let me know how it does for you. Obviously, like I said, this deck does not do well against control. So when you go into a matchup and you see Tribunal and Talvani, I'm sorry. It's not gonna do hot, but dang it, if this deck isn't dope against aggro, and right now I've been seeing so much aggro that this has been performing really well. So I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy the video that I put together for you. We're gonna be playing a matchup that I had against Aggro Crusader to kind of showcase its defensive capabilities. Enjoy, guys. All right, playing against Crusader. We've got an Enduro Mastermind, a Bollywog Tidecrawler, and a Ring of Imaginary Might. This is not a bad start considering we have the Ring of Magicka, as we'll be able to get this out on turn 2 and this out on turn 3. So we'll go ahead and keep this hand, especially because we get that smoked Bollywog leg, which is so big in these ring decks. High Hrothgar loves Bollywog legs. Alright, comes over to us. Unfortunately, nothing to answer his marked man. Should be okay. We're going to see what we can get here.
Training is over.
There's a 5th Legion trainer, huh? Alright. Well, that's okay. We've got our Barrelsar's Tinkering in hand. This is a new addition. I'm just trying to see how it does. Ideally... Oh. Choose a card. Let's see. Would we rather get the Portcullis or another Ring of Imaginary Might? Well, if we get... I think we're going to grab the ring, because remember, we can always pull these back with a Necromancer, so we'll ditch the Portcullis. It does sort of reveal, but so would Ring. Ring of Imaginary Might would have revealed what we were doing as well. Let's see what he does. Probably throws a guard down or something, thinking I have a way to buff. I actually don't. Aha! As expected. There's a Resolute Ally. That's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. Okay. So fortunately that takes this out of range of removal. So what we're going to do is we can... So the Quora Clan Bloodkin is interesting because it would enable us to kind of drop this over here and then ring it next turn for a 7/7 with Drain, kind of stabilize that way. In which case we could just go ahead and Barrelsar's Tinkering. And this would give us a 4-drop, which could be pretty relevant. So I think we're going to do that. So I think we're going to go Tinkering first, depending on what it is. Ulfric's Housecarl. Okay, so we'll just leave that be. And then we will play the Bloodkin.
Is pure and strong.
So this way, this will trade with any of these guys. Not really the best 4-drop we could have grabbed in this situation, but it's not terrible. There's a Crusader's Assault. I think we're going to see that. Oh, would you look at that? A Lurking Mummy. So this would absorb no trades, but it would slow down his drive. But he won't get Breakthrough. Protects. How does this protect us? Yeah, we'll go ahead and put it down. Slow down that damage. So He's only got one magicka left. I imagine he's going to get the Slay effect here, but no breakthrough, so he only gets the one card.
I'll take them with me.
Goes in for one, and Scouting Patrols. Well, that's alright.
How can I serve your orders?
How can I serve your orders? Okay. So, as we talked about last turn, we're going to go ahead and make this guy a 7/7. So we'll probably go
Let them die with their
here.
Die, abomination.
We'll go... see, this is damage for the future, but this is damage right now. How do we want to do this? If he Divine Fervors, then this is still tradable here.
Die, abomination.
So we'll go here. We'll heal up. And we'll drop that Smoked Bollywog leg on our Core Clan to heal it on up. And that'll be our turn. So that's pretty good. I mean, obviously we're not out of it yet, but we've certainly helped ourselves stabilize a bit. There's another Scouting Patrol. That's pretty solid. So it kind of makes us wish we'd killed this, but what can you do, you know?
We stand united.
And there's a Captain. Is he just going to go face with everything? Yeah, he's going face with everything. Necromancer's pretty big, though. It's going to get us our Portcullis back. Oh my god, there's another Portcullis anyway. So, let's go...
Abomination.
How do we want to do this? Now, I could draw a card. We could get a card with the House Crawl if I go face. I think that's a little silly, but we could. We have 5 to spend or 6 if we want to use our ring charge. I don't see why we wouldn't just clear. So we'll go 7, 3. We'll drop down the Bollywog Tidecrawler. Or do we want to... Now we can always Necromancer pull back the Mummy. Arcad Lightning Bolt. I think what we'll do is we will play down the Tidecrawler here and protect our investment, and we'll pass. So this is going quite well. These tokeny decks tend to be easy pickings for a lot of what this deck can do. So the Prophecy Guards, if you can get that Core Clan Bloodkin down early enough, pretty solid.
I'll take them with me.
It's now he's just retreading old ground.
I'll try to draw their fire.
Cloud Rest is good though. That's definitely a strong play from the Crusader. So unfortunately, we're going to lose our Tidecrawler without killing their guys in return. He's trying to decide where he wants to put his other creature.
I hear and obey. I just want a chance to.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Seems good. Now we got a Firebolt. So he's doing that, so if I want to get rid of the Orc Clan Captain, I have to trade. But little does he know, I'm probably not going to do that.
Die, abomination.
We'll go here. I can Lightning Bolt his Orc Clan Captain. Or I could... I mean, I'm probably almost certainly trading
Die,
like this.
abomination.
So we'll do that. Boop. And now, let's look at this. I could Necromancer, pull back a Portcullis, in which case he'd have to go both of these guys in, unless he got like a Crusader's Assault or something. But then this would still die, so that really doesn't achieve my goals. I want that side of the board wiped, so we're going to go Bolt, and we're going to go Firebolt, so Bolt, and then we'll pass. We're going to keep that last ring charge as long as we can hold on to it. So he did have a Crusader's Assault. That's I'm pretty glad I didn't move with the other play, because it would have gotten extra punished.
Into the breach. I hear and obey.
Okay.
Take them with me.
If you're looking for trouble,
There's a Lawkeeper, sure. We'll go portcullis. Then I'll play out the mastermind. Oh boy! So we're gonna grab the other core clan Bloodkin. That's pretty big. Have we seen a blacksmith yet? We have not. Okay. We have seen 2 rings and no Hrothgar. So we got to be careful with this ring.
You took a wrong turn, stranger.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us
Divine Fervor.
into the breach.
There's a shrieking harpy. Don't mind if I do. Shackle that down.
I hear and obey.
Yep. He's going to drive that damage.
There's always
There's a Bruma. And we got a bolt. So we're going to go trade, trade. That's pretty easy. We're going to go ring. Remove that. And then we'll go ahead and lightning bolt here. So that worked out pretty nice for us. Now the key here is that we need to make sure we don't...
preparations have been made.
there's another Bruma. And a Pit Lion. Okay.
I'll take
So
them
he's going to give us a card. Icy Shambles, that's pretty useful. There's our last ring. Okay, beautiful. So here's the plan. We're going to drop the Bloodkin over here. We're going to go Icy Shambles. We'll shackle that. Actually, in fact, I'll probably put it here. Yeah. We'll go ahead and Firebolt. I'm going to swing for... Do I want to swing for 10 here? It does give him 1 card. Only gives him 1 card because he'll go to 21. So I will swing for 10. I'll drop the Bloodkin. We'll pass. We've got our last Ring of Imaginary Might. Unfortunately, no way to recall them from the grave. Oh, he pulled an East March off the top. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. He just shackles. Oh my god, and he didn't shackle the... Whoa, that's pretty awesome. Alright. So we're going to swing face with this. Oh, there he goes. He scoops. Okay. Yeah, no way he was getting around that. So there we go. Perfect example. The deck can, with careful play, considerate play, it handles the aggro matchup pretty well. At least when it comes to tokeny aggro decks. Now, oh my god, we just got an aspect of Hearsing off of a random pull. That's huge! Wow! What a way to end a game. I don't have any of these. Oh man, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, there we go. Okay, as you see, there is our High Hrothgar Ring of Imaginary Might deck full of shenanigans. I hope you enjoyed it.